The life of this morning's guest is full of stages. Meet her, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Charlie Brendel building of the Coastal Carolinas Association of Realtors in one of the classrooms of the Fortune Academy, one of its 14 schools statewide. We're focused on cultivating the arts, and we're visiting with Diane DeVaughn Stokes. Good morning, Diane.
I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Listen, this is such an honor to be on your show, Greg, and I'm just lucky that we love each other.
Oh, yes, it is mutual, absolutely. And it's great to get you in at 7 a.m. Of course, to know that later this morning you're on at 10, and even this evening at 7:30 every day.
Absolutely. But luckily, I tape all the shows on Monday. Proud to tell everybody that I do that, because if they tuned in every day, they'd notice I don't change clothes. I tape on Monday, 5 shows in one day, and then they run respectively during the week.
Right, yes. So when you tape on Monday, it actually airs later that morning?
Right. I tape on Monday morning at 9. That show airs at 10 and then repeats that night at 7:30. And then I tape Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that same day.
Wow.
And it works great. You know, the show used to be live, and that was kind of cool. I miss that. I really wish we were still live. Absolutely.
Yeah, what do you miss about that?
I loved live because I used to love the live phone calls. Right. It was a great high to get those phone calls, know that there were people out there watching you at that moment, and they could call in and ask professionals different questions, free legal advice, free doctor's advice, and we always did that sort of thing, and I miss that.
And you got that the live piece at an early age. I mean, you started getting live both radio and TV.
I was live from the day I was born, actually. But yeah, and I started live. I started on radio for 7 years live before I went into TV, and then all my TV career has really been live until this. Actually, back in 1985, I used to do Grand Strand Gazette for Channel 13.
Right.
Did that for a couple of years, and that was taped. And of course, Southern Style was live for, I guess, the first 10 or 12 years, and has since been taped.
Southern Style's been continuous for 22 years.
Yes.
Golly, yes. Diane, that's amazing. Are you one of the, not to date you there, but that's got to be one of the longest running, continuous running
It is for Horry County.
Probably around.
It may even be for the state. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how long Joe Penner did his show in Columbia, but that was certainly a long time.
Sure.
But, you know, I really have to give the credit to Time Warner for that, because they have given me that opportunity.
Oh, yeah,
so I'm very grateful for that. But I love it. It never gets old. And every Monday I look forward to having, 15, 20 new friends into the studio and taping an interview with them. And you understand that, because you do the same thing, and you must love it.
But at the same time, it's very difficult to have that many, because you really got to get to the meat of the issue. Sherry, our producer, and I were talking about that recently, that aspect of be so difficult to have 3 guests in one day, because you really got to get to the topic. Wherein right here, there's not much prep that has to happen, because we've got 25 minutes just to casually talk.
Well, actually, I talk with all the guests on the phone before they come, because I am the producer.
Right.
Then I meet with them 15 minutes before their interview, and I sit down and give them my undivided attention and understand what the issue is for them, because for many of them, it's only 6 to 8 minute interview. So you're right. You got to get to the facts.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's worked.
Yes, that it has. Real quick about yourself, Diane. Are you originally from the area?
I do consider myself a South Carolinian, because I've been here since I was 14 years old. From Florence, actually. I was born in New Jersey, but I've lived in the South since I was 14, so I do say that I am a Southern belle.
Yeah.
And I like to say I got saved when I was 14 years old, when I came south. But there's no doubt about it. I consider myself a Southerner, even though when I go north, they pick me up as a Southern accent, but when I'm in the South, people pick me up with a Northern accent. But I think being in TV, I kind of go right down the middle. I can go either way.
Go either way, that's right.
Isn't that cool?
That's right, very easy. And of course, the PD was home for a good while.
Absolutely. Went to high school and college, went to Francis Marion, was one of the first graduates. Actually, the second graduating class. I don't want to make myself sound too old, but I was in the second graduating class at Francis Marion University.
Right. Had you always thought you were going to get into TV and radio?
No, you know what? Truthfully, back in the 70s, women were not getting into broadcasting. It just wasn't the issue. I actually majored in English and journalism to write. I minored in sociology because I wanted to work with people in a writing capacity. Loved to talk, though, and I think my big break came because when I was a student at Francis Marion, I became the student spokesperson to the media, and I had a chance to work with all the radio and TV stations in Florence to introduce the college to the community from a student's perspective, and that led to me doing radio and TV. And whereas no one else wanted to do it, I didn't have any. I wasn't nervous about it, and you know, I was always the first kid to raise my hand for the book report. Standing in front of a group never bothered me. So I think becoming a student spokesperson at Francis Marion led me into the media, and then little by little, radio led to television, and then of course women were gradually getting into TV. I remember approaching Channel 13 back in the early 70s about doing a TV talk show, and the manager at the time said, you know, women aren't believable in these positions.
Oh, come on.
And so that was the early 70s. So I feel like even in my lifetime we've seen incredible accomplishments from women in journalism.
Oh, absolutely. Think about Katie Couric
now
in that position. I mean, what a big deal.
Absolutely.
And of course, before her, the Connie Chung, I mean, some folks quickly.
And Barbara Walters, my goodness, Diane
Sawyer.
About
those folks on that big, absolutely.
They're all incredible, and they're certainly, they've opened the doors for many other women to proceed.
Great point. Of course, back at that time in the early 70s, there was only the one TV station in the entire area. There was, of course, WECT in Wilmington that served Horry County down in this area, and I guess WBTW did as well, but it was the one TV station there in the PD.
Actually, there was a point where many people don't know that WBTW was the CBS and the ABC affiliate. They carried programs from both networks at the same time. That would, of course, be unheard of today, but that was the case. And then, of course, when WPDE went on the air, it gave the area the ABC affiliate.
Right, back in 1980.
Right.
And you joined WPDE not long after that.
Absolutely. I went to work for WPDE in 1981 doing PD People, a talk show, which was live at noon, and did that for 3 years. Loved it. It was a real blessing because I had wanted to do that at 13 for years, and the manager didn't see fit to do that. So when 15 went on the air, they gave me that opportunity. And then, of course, they confronted me about moving into news and actually canceled PD People. And
to try to force you into news.
And very much so, I quit on that decision. I did not want to do the news. Never wanted to do the news.
Really? What was it about the news that didn't appeal to you?
A lot.
Right, because it was so scripted, or?
Scripted, one. Two, depressing. Mostly bad news, not the good news. And that's not knocking any of my friends who are doing news today, because I admire all of them. It wasn't my thing. I would have been crying to have announced that there was a car wreck on Highway 501 and 14 cars were involved. You know, that emotional drain, it wasn't right for me. I knew that from the very beginning. Even when I was doing radio, to do the news stories wasn't as appealing to me as do the feature. When I was a writer and started out writing for newspapers in Florence while I was in high school and college, the features were always more interesting to me than news. And besides, I also knew I wanted to have a life. I wanted to have a family life. I did plan on having children. That didn't happen for me, but I always thought if I got into the news, having time with my family and children would be difficult. And it is for all of our friends, Greg, in news. And doing evening anchoring is difficult.
Early morning things where they've got to be there at 4 or 5.
I mean, you know, I look at Nicole and I think, oh, what a great job she's done at Channel 13, raising her children and handling the news at the same time. But on the other hand, you know, I just knew it wasn't right for me, so I walked away from 15, did not want to do the news, and it really was the great opportunity, though, that got Chuck and I to Myrtle Beach. Yeah,
I was about to ask, you and Chuck met there?
We met at Channel 15, so 15 is, it will always have a special place in my heart because I met Chuck at Channel 15. We both wanted to live in Myrtle Beach. We just weren't sure how we were going to get there. So when PD People was canceled, actually a month before we got married in '84, Chuck and I said, this is it. This is the omen to move us to Myrtle Beach, because he wasn't really walking away from a huge salary or anything at the time. So we just moved to Myrtle Beach, and we had no jobs, and we came here and did every imaginable job until something opened up.
Do you remember the first ones? Each of y'all?
Yeah. Jobs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you. And most people would be embarrassed to tell this, but we moved to Myrtle Beach, and we had a friend who was actually working for the Goldfinch Funeral Home who used to work at Channel 15. She was in sales. And Alice called us one day and said, listen, we need somebody in marketing. We need somebody to help us market the new mausoleum program. Wow. And we were like, TV to mausoleum sales. Well, it will get us to Horry County. The Goldfinches are well-respected people. Yeah. They were a wonderful, and still are, an incredible family.
Oh, yeah.
And that was our first job in Horry County, was actually working for the Goldfinches.
The two of y'all.
Yes, together as a team. And we went out and called on people who were interested in the mausoleum program. I am so blessed, though, that 3 months later, Cox Cable, who is now, of course, Time Warner, hired me to do the program. Right. And as a matter of fact, you're Donald Smith, who videos for you. He used to work with me
director.
there.
Yeah,
and absolutely, he actually and Kathy D'Antoni had sat down and thought, this would be a great idea, and they hired me. And the rest is history. And so I'm very grateful that got me out of the mausoleum business and back into television. And then at the same time, Channel 13 was getting ready to open a Myrtle Beach office, and they came to Chuck and said, would you be our production manager? Right. Would you hang our first lights? Would you get in there and get us open and be our production manager? And then they hired me to also do a Sunday magazine format show, which was Grand Strand Gazette.
Grand Strand Gazette, yes, I saw about that.
So, so that's kind of how Horry County opened its heart to us, and we're very grateful because this is where we wanted to live as a married couple and be forever. And, I've never been one of those TV people who wanted to move out of the market in order to move up. Right. I'm very happy being here, and this is where we want to stay.
20 plus years then, 22, 23 years. That's
As a matter of fact, the second week of October we'll have been in Horry County for 23 years.
Wow, that's tremendous, Diane. So it's really home now. You'd be a local.
I would hope so. I would hope so after 23 years.
Yeah, that's tremendous. Well, of course, so much of highlighting now that idea of cultivating the arts. We wanted to have a chance to get you in. You have been instrumental in helping to reestablish an interest in the arts, or to establish, as you say, for the first time, to get folks interested in the arts, both on the Horry County side as well as in the city, and then doing many artistic things, both you and Chuck together.
I've always been very passionate about the arts, and of course I'm not an artist, but I play one on TV. I like that line. Is that good?
You play one on TV.
You like that?
Yeah.
But no, I'm not an artist. But Chuck and I love theater, and we've always been passionate about the arts.
Oh, yeah.
Ironically, I had always been involved in the Florence Little Theater. Chuck had been involved in the Sumter Little Theater, and when we came here, we got involved with the Theater of the Republic, which is just as good as it gets. Right. If you didn't see Chicago, you should have, because Greg, that play could have been on Broadway.
Really?
So we're really proud to be involved with the Theater of the Republic. But my involvement with the arts has, been for the whole 22 years that I've been here, and I can actually say we've come a long way, baby. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt that the arts have moved in all the right directions. We had an arts council that folded a couple years ago, and we saw the need to get a new arts council, and now we have ACE, Arts and Cultural Enhancement, and Horry County ACE is doing a great job. They just gave out their first grants.
Great, good.
And without that organization, we wouldn't have the kinds of money that we now have to be able to give artists and arts organizations kind of a help up.
Sure. That's tremendous. There's also the Myrtle Beach Cultural Arts Advisory Committee, I believe, which you've been instrumental.
I'm really fortunate that I chair the city's Cultural Arts Committee. Right. That has been, it's a struggle, I will say. We do a lot of great things, but we recently brought festivals back to the table. Yeah. A couple of years ago, the city of Myrtle Beach canceled the 4th of July celebration because they said that it cost too much money, and the Cultural Arts Committee said, wait a minute, it's an arts event that the locals love.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of encouraged the city to bring that particular festival back to the table.
That was the one that was at Pelican Ball this summer.
Yes, and it was super successful.
Well attended, And
the Cultural Arts Committee is, of course, trying to get the city to bring another festival to the table for the fall of maybe next year.
Good.
Also, we've worked hard to make sure that murals are able to be put up on city buildings and presented as public art. Before, the city saw them as advertisement, and now, Greg, the city realizes that it's a wonderful arts venture.
Great,
and can make the city look better. And so we're hoping that more businesses will jump on the mural bandwagon. The Cultural Arts Committee, of course, has also worked hard with the city to make sure that, just like this summer when they had those concerts down on Ocean Boulevard, that we had mime artists and stilt walkers and magicians and got those artists in the community involved in the city's cultural arts offerings.
And those were tremendously successful down
they
there.
were.
And the Downtown Merchants Association working in tandem with the city. I mean, everyone's been interested in really building up the area down there. And Plyler Park was such a perfect venue.
Absolutely.
For much of what y'all did. But
I have to say, you know, it's a 9-member committee. I've got a great group of team members on the Cultural Arts Committee, and I work very closely with Diane McKenzie at City Hall, who helps to make our arts suggestions happen. And of course, you know, we can't do anything without the support of City Council. The greatest thing for the city's Cultural Arts Committee would, of course, be to see a performing arts center located right in the center of Myrtle Beach. And, you know, we continue to work hard on that. The Rivoli Corporation also works incredibly hard on trying to make that happen. And together, we do see a light at the end of the tunnel. We're just wishing that tunnel was a little bit shorter.
A little shorter, that's right. It'll shorten up, I'm sure.
Sure.
And a lot's happening to make that happen.
And if we give up now, it will be, you know, 20 years wasted. So we have to keep up the fight.
That's great, Diane. Speaking of something fascinating that happened, I think this may have happened even last summer. Is that right? The song that came out, Hard to Say Goodbye, of course, is the CD. This is the CD cover.
Right.
You were kind enough to bring a music video along, but share with viewers a little about Hard to Say Goodbye. What prompted this is... You're the lyricist. Right.
Actually, Chuck and I were hired by Burroughs and Chapin to do a documentary on the history of the pavilion. It is not the documentary that people have seen on ETV. ETV did their own documentary, but I must say that we were hired to do what they call the official video. It is being sold at the Pavilion Nostalgia Park. It documents the entire history of the pavilion with some wonderful, wonderful interviews of people like Skeets Bellamy, who used to work at the pavilion, Jack Thompson, Dino Thompson. We interview people who came back year after year with their children and grandchildren. It's really a piece we're very, very proud of, and it is being sold at the Pavilion Nostalgia Park. We sat back and we started going through music, and we couldn't find the right music for it. And I said to Chuck, well, I'm going to write a song based on all these interviews that I had done and the feelings that people had, the passion they had for the Myrtle Beach Pavilion, and the sadness that they felt that it was closing. And I got Steve Marino, who I've known for years. Steve and I have done theater together, and I called Steve and I said, Steve, you're a great musician. Can you put some music together? And I wanted to be a beach music song, since beach music really got its... beginnings back at the pavilion and the attic, and even before the attic was built. So Steve put together some wonderful music, and we hired Gary Brown to sing the song. He's a North Myrtle Beach fabulous beach music singer. Mark Black is a saxophonist in Conway, so it was a very local teamwork effort, and we put together this song that now is in the top 10 on
It is skyrocketed,
surf, on the surf music.
The beach music charts, that's right, which are worldwide.
Absolutely, and so Surf has done a wonderful job of promoting the song. Gary has done a wonderful job, and the song is being sold all over town. But what actually prompted us to record the song was the fact that Steve and I just did it for the documentary. We had no intention of producing a record that was going to be sold, and all of a sudden Steve, he sings nightly at the Sea Captain's house.
Right, sure.
And as he was singing the song all last summer, people were wanting to buy it. Everyone kept saying, we want to buy this. And then EZV Radio called us and said, would you come do the song on the radio? And when we did it over there, we had so many people call wanting the record that we decided, well, let's go into production. Let's produce a record. And Steve was very humble. He's a wonderful singer, but his style would be more of Jimmy Buffett. We decided to hire a beach music singer, and Gary Brown did the song and could not have done any better.
Beach,
the song has just done gangbusters on the beach music charts, and it's a great shag tune. And if you could shag, we could get up and even shag to the song. But we hired Jack Thompson to get involved with us and purchase some of his wonderful photography
for
the cover of the CD.
Get a sense of that.
Sure.
There's a great cover there.
And actually, the back is also a photograph of Jack's. So when people purchase the song, they not only get a nostalgic song, but some fabulous photography that Jack is world famous for.
And y'all have also put together a music video.
Absolutely.
Who put that together, Diane?
Chuck did this, and of course,
your hubby, yeah.
This is the last piece of our documentary. The documentary ends with this song, Hard to Say Goodbye, and you'll see a lot of local people in here blowing kisses because this particular video that you are getting ready to see that goes along with the song, this was actually done on the farewell day, the final day of the Myrtle Beach Pavilion.
Great. Well, let's watch that now, Diane, please.
You want to shag?
Yeah, let's get up.
All right, let's do it.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
In Myrtle Beach I came of age on that South Carolina shore that I'll adore forevermore. But it's so hard to say goodbye, old friend. I never dreamed these happy days would ever end. Yes, it's so hard to say goodbye. So let's take just one more ride and blow a kiss, 'cause it's so hard to say goodbye. Hard to say goodbye. Hard to say goodbye. Hard to say goodbye. Got my first kiss in the haunted house. Worked my first job at the old bathhouse. In the magic attic I learned to dance. It's been a lifelong summer romance. The seasons have changed and so did I. Every year I stop that by to relive those good times that were made in the park and in the arcade. And now my kids and their kids too all have sweet memories of you. You gave them like me the chance for a lifelong summer romance. Now it's so hard to say goodbye, old friend. I never dreamed these happy days would ever end. Yes, it's so hard to say goodbye. So let's take just one last ride and blow a kiss, 'cause it's so hard to say goodbye. Hard to say goodbye. Hard to say goodbye. Hard to say
Well, I'm sweating from the shagging, Diane. My Lord, thank you again. That was fantastic. Speaking of shagging, wasn't that a great...
I'm going to tell everybody the truth. You said you couldn't shag.
Oh, I'm a tremendous shagger. That's very thick then. My God, I'm the best around.
Well, my goodness, we need to get you in the competition.
For the almost now 20th year, I think you started that in '88.
Something like that. I don't know, 18, 19. Who's counting?
Championships, yes.
But it is fun. It is a wonderful event held in March every year. The preliminaries are in January, and then the finals are always the second weekend of March. So maybe you should come out and...
There's a big event, January 25th, I believe, where they're lining some folks up to dance. I think Brad Dean and John Rhodes did that last year. You know about that, where they get the little groups together?
Yeah, they had Shaggin' with the Stars.
Shaggin' with the Stars.
I actually competed against those guys.
And who won? David Bennett, right?
No, Dave Bennett was wonderful.
Right,
the Shaggin' with the Stars event was won by Martha Martha Hunn.
Oh,
but you
really?
know what I had
She's
to
a
say?
pro, though, right?
She's sleeping with a dance instructor.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not being ugly. Her husband is a dance teacher,
Right,
and he
yeah.
taught her. And so, you
Yeah.
know, let's make that clear.
Yeah.
So I teased her. I said, Martha, of course you're going to win. You're sleeping with a dance instructor. I'm sleeping with a videographer.
I had no
So-
chance. But now you're not paired with the. I mean, she wasn't paired with her husband though. She's paired with a shagger.
Right,
a
but
pro.
of course,
Yeah, I mean, she's a
Martha.
great dancer,
I mean,
sure.
her husband's a dance teacher, and
Yeah.
he worked with her quite a bit. But no, she did a great job, and she won the Shaggin' with the Stars.
Wow, that's great. January 25th this year. Barry Thickman's been pumping that up a lot.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to compete?
I can't say that on camera. That's great. We'll it was an amazing video. Chuck stages video of which I believe you're the president.
Yes,
Stages
I am.
Video, put that together.
But Chuck is the genius behind it, and he did a great job on that. But don't you like the music? It's catchy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I've
Steve
heard
did
it,
a great
of course,
job
on
on
the Surf 94.9, and folks can go online to surf949.com to see the beach music charts, and of course to check that station out.
May I mention where the record is on sale?
No, please.
Is that
please
a
do.
cheap blow?
No, now's the time.
The record is on sale. Anyone can buy the CD at Judy's House of Oldies in North Myrtle Beach,
Great.
the Sea Captain's House, Northside Pharmacy, as well as the Pavilion Nostalgia Park, and
Yeah.
Sounds Better, Jeff Roberts Show.
Sounds better. Absolutely. Can folks call you all as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But it sells for $7. You can't beat it, and it's a great keepsake. If nothing more, Jack Thompson's photography is worth every cent.
Absolutely. I had lunch with Jack Thompson last weekend to celebrate his ex-wife's birthday, Hilda Carter's birthday, which was wonderful. So much going on in the area, and obviously cultivating the arts a lot that still has to happen, Diane, to continue that.
And Greg, I want to thank you, because a lot of people don't realize that even though you might not serve on any arts committees, you are always there to support everything in this community financially, whether it's Heart Association, March of Dimes, but you've also been an incredible monetary supporter of the arts, and for that, we are grateful.
That's very kind. Thanks so much for being with us this morning,
It's
Diane.
an honor, Greg. Thanks so much, my friend.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Diane DeVaughn Stokes coming up next. 58 years of sweet memories. 58 years of sweet memories. The Myrtle Beach Pavilion and Amusement Park. Take the time. Give them a call at 626-7466 to pick up a copy, or go to one of those 5 locations Diane talked about. You can also catch her on air this morning at 10 or tonight at 7:30, Monday through Friday, Southern style, continuously. 22 years. Thanks again, Time Warner Cable, and thank you, Diane DeVaughn Stokes.